If you're like me and remember a gaming era where side-scrollers of insane difficulty ruled the market, then you'll without a doubt recall that Contra stood among the best in its class. With Hardcore Uprising, Konami once again revives the Contra franchise, though they've ditched the Contra moniker and decided to use the title in reference to the 1994 release of Contra Hardcore on the Sega Genesis. And while fans of the series will rejoice in the release of a new Contra title, they may find that only the most masochistic of gamers will be able to endure it.
From the first level, players will notice that the difficulty curve is extremely high, with countless hordes of enemies attacking from every direction, and in classic Contra form, you're given only 3 lives to complete each stage. I cannot even begin to stress how frustrating hardcore can be, especially when you're forced to replay a difficult boss fight because you died immediately after passing it. Unlike games of the past, many modern video games hold your hand all too much, and it can be said that most lack any real challenge.
I'll use the dragonfly to find us a route. I'll put a marker up on your headband display.
Sure, there are some exceptions, like Devil May Cry 3 or Super Meat Boy, but what these titles offer is a sure sense of accomplishment for beating them. With Hardcore Uprising, I never felt any sense of accomplishment, and instead found myself cursing profusely at the TV, wondering if it was even worth it to keep playing. To add to the frustration, Hardcore features all of my favorites from games of yesteryear. Cheap deaths, terrible checkpoints, and multiple boss fights per level. This is definitely a game that requires multiple playthroughs to learn all of the cheap sections that you'll encounter. Insane difficulty aside, Hardcore Uprising is actually quite an impressive game. The art direction immediately drew me in, with beautifully drawn anime-style character sprites over 3D backgrounds. Each stage has its own unique look and setting, and helps keep the game from getting stale. The story is virtually non-existent, with paragraphs of text that attempt to etch out a plot during each level's loading screen. Players also have the option to play as either Bahamut, who is strangely an enemy in Contra Hardcore, or a female counterpart, Crystal. The controls are pretty much what you'd expect from a Contra game, running and gunning with the ability to lock your character's aim position using the left trigger. There's also double jump and a dash, which can be initiated by either double tapping forward or by pressing LB. Power-ups scatter each level in the traditional fall from the sky method and can be upgraded by picking up multiple power-ups of the same type. The only saving grace that makes Hardcore Uprising passable is the inclusion of Rising mode, which allows players to upgrade their characters from points earned through kills. From the upgrade menu, players can choose to make their weapons stronger, add more hit points, add more lives, increase their dash, etc. Like any other Contra, Hardcore is best when played with a teammate. Having a second gun is necessary, making the game barely passable as opposed to nearly impossible. Co-op can either be handled on one console or over the internet. In conclusion, Hardcore Uprising is a worthy cousin to the Contra series, but because of its insanely frustrating to the point of stupidity difficulty, I give it a 3 out of 5.
It's not over yet. What the hell? Now it's my turn. Show yourself, you bastard! Show yourself, Tiberius! Show yourself, you bastard! Show yourself, Tiberius!